Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the WCA 2015 Pro Qualifier Heroes of the Storm Finals. Gamescom, are you ready? Introducing our first team, dominating from the upper bracket. Give it up for Fnatic. And their opponents, fighting their way from the lower bracket, the Spanish Armada, Team Liquid. Gentlemen, congratulations on making it to the finals. The format will be a best of 3. The first place prize is 10,000 euros. Before we start, do you have any words for your opponent?
Yesterday they said tomorrow. Let's see if they can just do it.
Not much. I guess just good luck to them and we'll see how it goes.
All right, gentlemen, please shake hands. To your stations, good luck and have fun.
All right, everybody, welcome to the WCA EU Pro Qualifier, the final, the last best of 3 series. Team Liquid, they came to Cologne and they wanted to dominate. They got dominated in the first games that they played. Fnatic was the team that went all the way in the winner's bracket, and now, of course, they have to take on Team Liquid once again.
Yeah, Fnatic dropping 1 best of 3 series in this entire tournament so far, and that was during the round robin phase versus Na'Vi. And here we can see the bracket. Team Liquid going from the lower bracket all the way through to the grand final.
And the match, of course, that Fnatic lost in the round of robin phase was one of the games that didn't really matter for the seeding, so the 2 teams were basically just testing a few things here. So we can't take that too serious. We have now a really cool series ahead of us, though, because Fnatic, even when they came to the event, they didn't really expect to go all the way to the grand final. They said they're going to give it their best, but they knew, of course, that they, as a newer team and with new players, would still need some time to really adjust. But all of a sudden, they get all that momentum that they need, and they are now in the finals here. And Team Liquid, the team that everybody expected to dominate, they are struggling. They said after the round robin phase, tournament starts today, we are back, we can focus now, everything is going to be good, and so far they've been proven right.
Yeah, whereas Fnatic completely dominating their way through the bracket with some very interesting picks, bringing out some innovative, lesser played heroes and using them to pure perfection.
Especially, of course, Haunted Minds was one of the maps that Fnatic constantly was trying to play, and they were extremely successful on the map. Today, we might not see the map here. Team Liquid, they are starting things off with a match on Garden of Terror, one of the best maps for Team Liquid, and of course, they are trying to start with a win into the best of 3 series and take it from there.
So right now we are just waiting for the draft link. Right now I've not received anything. Like I said, Garden of Terror, one of the bigger maps. It is one of the maps that Liquid did win on in their last series to get to this point. And they played spectacularly in classic Team Liquid fashion.
It was one of those games where we saw, especially in the late game, then Team Liquid shining once again. Thanks to the Vikings, they were able to establish a bit of a lead. The problem that Na'Vi had going up against Team Liquid in the series was simply that during the first night they lost too many seeds. The Vikings were able to soak, and then they just got pushed against. But of course, Fnatic knows exactly what Team Liquid is going to try and do here. They know fully well that Team Liquid might go for the Vikings. You might even see a ban on the hero, and there's of course another hero that is extremely strong on this map in particular. The draft already started, as we can see here, and the ban on Fnatic's side against Zeratul. Team Liquid again bans out the Jaina, and Fnatic right from the start says, all right, Illidan is our boy.
Yep, LoL really wanting to get on that Illidan. This is a rematch of these 2 teams where we have 2 of the most well-known melee assassin players in the game right now in the form of LoL and Blackscorp. So LoL just stealing the Illidan away here. And
that means that Team Liquid has to think about Uther and Abathur. They pick Uther away. Abathur is another hero that Fnatic will try to play here. They love to play it with a monstrosity. They really like that play. They have always KSL on the hero, and Team Liquid of course knows that as well. So for them it's now the question, what do we pick next? Are we going to go into that Abathur? Do we pick it away? Do we allow Fnatic to use the hero? Or do we instead just simply take Abathur for ourselves? Do we focus on a tank? For example, play Leoric, which they've already shown in the last games.
Yeah, Team Liquid, the Abathur on their side, and the Lost Vikings are 2 heroes we see a huge amount on this map by them. as they excel in out-XPing their opponents, using those heroes to their full potential. Abathur sitting with his body in one lane while symbioting another, while the objective is happening, the Lost Vikings splitting up and helping out the team when they are needed.
And especially Team Liquid is one of the teams that really knows how to play a composition that does not really want to engage into team fights, but starts to play around the opponent. Vikings and Abathur together are a very good example for that. They always try to soak experience wherever they can and then just move into a fight when they have a talent lead, when they have maybe an advantage on another lane. So this is the play that they are currently favorizing here. And let's see what they are going to pick. I mean, at this point, there is so many ways. They have to really start to go into one direction with this one. And Abathur, this is still on their minds. Are they going to pick him, yes or no? Fnatic, they're waiting for the hero. But Team Liquid, they go into their Zagara again. They want the damage, and Fnatic, if they want, they can lock down Abathur.
Such high priority on this Zagara from Team Liquid in pretty much every single game they play. That devouring more potential is just huge in their priorities. And Fnatic, like you said, they have the absolute potential to grab the Abathur here, and if they want to, they can pick up their support in the form of Rhaegar, as Liquid are one of the teams that will absolutely threaten a double support if you don't pick it up in the first phase.
It's actually a very good point. If Team Liquid doesn't ban a support in the next phase, then it's only because Fnatic doesn't pick one now. So Fnatic, they have to think about this. They have to say like, alright, do we want to play Rhaegar or are we okay with Malfurion as well? They go into a Johanna, no Abathur just yet on the map, but they should probably pick a healer now, unless they are totally okay with playing a Malfurion against Team Liquid setup.
Both of these teams have been known to run the Malfurion with their respective healers, so this would not be too bad for them, but Fnatic will likely prioritize the Rhaegar. Their Rhaegar this tournament has been spectacularly good, but the Abathur, like you said, still weighing heavily on their minds. Mina
playing a pretty mean Rhaegar there and keeping Illidan alive countless times in the last few days. But now Fnatic, what are they going to go for? Is it going to be the healer? Yes, it is. They let the Abathur go for now. Team Liquid, of course, they can ban it out. But here we have Rhaegar now together with Johanna. So they already have a very stable build here, not trying to take any risks or being too greedy.
Yep, they have everything they need for a standard setup other than a range damage dealer, which there are plenty of options left. Team Liquid can't pick them all away and can't ban them all away. Team Liquid, though, do have a ban option now. Now they can either ban out the Abathur or one of those range damage dealers away from Fnatic, or, seeing as they get first pick after this ban phase, could pick it away themselves.
And there's the Abathur ban. Alright, Team Liquid not going to let that through. One of the things that we always have to keep in mind when we're looking at a draft of Fnatic is that they really love to play single warrior and double melee assassins. They played that countless times already with Wooby. We currently see him here on screen. We have a very good Kerrigan player on their setup. Not really a hero that we see too much of Garden of Terror, but they've even played it on maps like, for example, Tomb of the Spider Queen, Dragonshire. So they're really familiar with the way to play the hero, and they really prefer to go into a very aggressive melee setup with a lot of melee heroes on the team.
And Fnatic banning out the Lost Vikings away from Team Liquid, giving Vortex the absolute respect he deserves. Basically, all of his terrifying heroes have been banned out, and all of Blackscorp's terrifying heroes have been banned or stolen away.
Exactly. So at this point, it's really one of those cases where the Lost Vikings are not available to Team Liquid, and a lot of their compositions actually are based on the Vikings. They are trying to get the experience. So Zagara has a very good opportunity to use that more, not only to disengage, but also to start a setup for Kalthas, who we now see coming in for Team Liquid for damage. Phoenix and Flame Strike, if timed correctly, are going to do so much damage to every single hero that is trapped in their maw. But very important here, Team Liquid now also with a counter pick against Illidan, going for Muradin.
Yeah, Muradin and Anubarak, two of the best warriors against that Illidan, due to the fact that Anubarak can web blast the healer or the Illidan himself, and the Muradin does get the reverberation. And there it is again, the double melee assassin.
Already mentioned before, and we're gonna see it again. Fnatic just saying it worked once, it will work twice. They go into Kerrigan and they use Vala as a very solid damage dealer in the back line. Great picks here for Fnatic and Team Liquid as their last hero. They secure themselves Leoric. A lot of push potential now for Team Liquid. They not only have the Zagara that they can use for it, Leoric is going to be great with this too, and it's again that double melee assassin, and Fnatic, they are ready for this one. They are pumped, they are hyped, and they want to go to China.
Yeah, there's a huge amount of AoE damage potential on the side of Team Liquid as well. If they can catch everyone together, then Fnatic are going to be in serious trouble, and the whole point of Fnatic is that they group up with that Kerrigan and Illidan, both focusing the same target, so they have to be super careful.
running around trying to lock somebody down, especially of course when the night falls and the seats are on the map. That is really when those two melee assassins and Karrigan in particular are going to try to find opponents to attack. The players are getting ready and we are ready as well. Game number 1 on Garden of Terror, and once again keep in mind that only the winning team will go to China. There's a lot of money on the line as well. The first prize goes home with $10,000, the second prize with $6,000 still. A lot of money, but they want to go to China and only one of these two teams will be able to do that.
Yeah, so the pressure is now on. No second chances, no more series. It is all down to these 2 or 3 games.
And especially Team Liquid, after they lost in the first few days so many games, they now need to prove themselves once again. They already took down Na'Vi. Can they be successful against Fnatic once more? Fnatic coming for the losers match bracket, and we're going to go straight into our first game. And starting to the left side of the map, coming from the winners bracket here at WCA Europe, it is Fnatic. Once again, a double melee assassin composition with Lola Illidan and Whoopi on Karrigan. Mena for the support on Rhaegar. We have Kasil on Vala and Breeze on Johanna. Starting to the right side of the map though, it is the Spanish Armada. It is Team Liquid. Lucifron on Leoric. We have Vortex on Kel'Thas. Blackscorp this time again on Muradin. Falcon on Zagara and Uther playing the support role here. It is of course Grand Paqueta.
Starting off with some of the talents, Vala going for a nice safe talent build here with the Siphoning Arrow, giving herself any kind of sustain, any kind of health regen. 1, against the fact double warriors will be trying to sit on her constantly, and 2, well, she's going to be hit by a Flame Strike eventually and is going to want to get some health back.
Both of the teams very passive right now. Of course, Whoopi knows fully well that Team Liquid might try and use that Muradin to lock him down, so he's currently just waiting, trying to find out, okay, where do my opponents lane? Where are the heroes? In the mid lane, we're having Blackscorp waiting for an opportunity. Breeze is, of course, still able to use his Iron Skin to get away. And up at the top lane, it is Zagara, and that Zagara looks pretty juicy.
Here comes Whoopi sneaking around through the bushes. He wants to try and get Falcon here. Falcon playing very cautiously because they do not know where Whoopi is on this Karrigan yet.
At the bot lane,
they're going in.
Oh, they're going in. They're trying to go for Falcon, lock him down, jump right on him. But there is Grand Paqueta and Blackscorp with a double stun. They're trying to go for Karrigan, already using the Ravage to get away. Blackscorp is gonna try and hit another Stormbolt, but the cooldown is ready, and both of the melee assassins get away.
Very good rotation out of Liquid there to save Falcon. And very good escape from Fnatic. We're going to see Breeze just pop down below his lane just to check if anyone is there and to get ready for these seeds. Liquid already grouping up. They may get lulled if he's not careful which way he goes in.
Yeah, there's a 3 versus 3 potentially, but Fnatic moves away. It was kind of funny to see just like how Whoopi was moving in, but Blackscorp, of course, they expected Karrigan to try something like this. Basically, Falcon baiting them out, and as long as Zagara didn't really see Karrigan on the map, she had to play extremely careful, and that's what we saw.
Yeah, we can see the rest of Liquid finishing up these seeds in the top lane, whereas Fnatic grabbed all of the seeds in that bottom lane and now continuing just to lane for the moment. And Liquid thinking about starting that top tower, but instead just going to look for a gank opportunity. They're going to find Karrigan. Yeah, they're going to find Karrigan, but they shouldn't be able to take out. Grand Paqueta doesn't even try to stun her. He already realizes, as well, it's not going to happen. She's too close to the towers in the fort, so let's let her go for now. Rotate over into the mid lane, take it from there. And with the level 4 talents, we now have a few of those builds, of course, advancing, especially when we're looking at Vala with her arrow build that she is currently pursuing, and Muradin with a Thunderclap build. But we also have, again, another win, not the Gathering Power for Vortex, and Fealty unto Death on level 4 for Leoric. And that allows Leoric to stay in lane pretty much constantly. He's actually moving in here, trying to get Whoopi. There's nowhere for Whoopi to jump to. Flame Strike takes him down, and that is first blood for Team Liquid. Vortex taking a bit of damage from above, but not going to be in any danger. And of course we have also the potential for Whoopi later on to go for adaptation on level 7, then he's going to be able to jump to allies, but in this case no chance to escape this particular roam. So we have the entire seed count at the bot lane already secured, but the problem for Fnatic is that up at the top they are potentially losing out on even more seeds, and Breeze in the mid lane is being attacked. Gravity Lapse hits him, but he's going to get away. And when it comes to the objective, Team Liquid is really in a great position, and Fnatic finds themselves in some trouble. Yeah, only 11 seeds needed for Liquid to get that plant terror, and that will not take them long. We can see Muradin and Uther looking for an opportunity to maybe catch the Illidan or the Kerrigan, but instead, as they are hiding behind their walls, are going to go for this Shambler and grab the seeds that they need for a planter. Wubby sees this and is like, yeah, it's not worth diving in for not enough seeds. So it's just going to leave them to it.
Yeah, the communication there on the side of Fnatic was really not on the level that we've seen before. Now they lost a lot of seeds. It's actually like not only a plan, it's another 48 that we are seeing for Team Liquid. So they will have a much easier time during the second night as well. That's a very dire situation now for Fnatic. They need to be super careful. Granted, first plant is not the strongest one, but still, they could not take any seeds, and they also didn't take an experience advantage.
Fnatic, though, did start going for their mercenary camps before this plant terror spawned. They were able to get the middle lane Siege Giants and will grab the bottom lane Bruiser camp, as when you start attacking those, they will stay around until you either let them leash or you have finished capturing them. So Fnatic just trying to deal with Vortex, just zoning him out, not letting him get too much damage. In the meantime, though, top lane is being pushed.
Exactly. The plan is forcing a few heroes to defend into the mid lane, and that's the time and the space that Team Liquid uses to move up to the top. Drops one tower, goes for the second. For the level 7 talents now, of course, those builds are even more advanced, and we're seeing Thrill of Battle being used on the side of Illidan. This is one of those things that especially, a bit of an attempt to take Black Scarf down, but he's going to jump away. Yeah, Thrill of Battle is one of the things that Illidan uses, especially Fnatic, when they play with Lowell here, because he wants to dodge as much flame strike damage as possible in later stages. So this is a talent that he uses because he wants to take the evasion shield on level 13, and the cooldown reduction is really going to help him with that. And he feels that it's much better than first aid because he takes less damage during those crucial fights where Kalthas is going to have his ignite.
And there's also the fact that it does allow him to have his heroic up a lot quicker than he otherwise would be able to. And like you were calling out earlier, Kerrigan going with the adaptation, that's going to allow her to escape in those situations where she doesn't have an enemy minion to jump to.
Yeah, Lowell already up here at the top. And what you also said with the cooldown reduction on the heroic ability is quite important, since Illidan has one of the longest cooldowns in the game here. It's a full 2-minute cooldown that he has on his Metamorphosis. So he's a bit of a bottleneck when it comes to team fights. If he uses his ult too early and then the opponent tries to disengage and is successful at that, and they have to wait for a very long time until they can use it again.
Rampaketa rolling in here was thinking about trying to contest this camp, but was too slow. Would have been able to do it, seeing as they had heroics if they'd been there a bit earlier, but instead are just going to start on their own bruisers.
And you can really tell once again the Phoenix with a super low cooldown of 40 seconds is just so valuable in these situations. Throwing it out to take a mercenary camp, not afraid to just drop it. And we have therefore the heroic abilities ready for Team Liquid a lot faster than Fnatic, who just now are about to hit level 10.
And we are seeing Uther hold off on his heroic for the moment, thinking about whether he needs that Divine Shield, which all depends on how ham Team Fnatic are going to go, or whether he wants that Divine Storm, seeing as both the melee assassins are going to be within range for it.
Yeah, and the melee assassins here with the Maelstrom and Kerrigan. Ultralisk is an option if you don't have an Uther on your team, so that's one of the things that you have to always consider. Do you go into that? It's just like one click and then you can just basically forget about it. Or do you really want to go into the Maelstrom, which is of course amazing, especially if you get shielded and healed by a healer. Ancestral Healing, Metamorphosis, Rain of Vengeance for Vala, and the Blessed Shield for the initiation with Johanna.
It is going to be Divine Storm, from Uther here. So going to try and lock down those melee assassins from Fnatic as they try to dive in. And right now, we may see a bit of a scuffle. Johanna is not here for Fnatic, so they would be fighting 4 versus 5. So they are going to decide against it and start moving their way up to the top lane.
Yeah, they have to really take these seats. There's, of course, 90 seats per map size, so the small camps give 15, and the big guard gives 60 seats. So Fnatic is going to get one of their plans easily, but still, we have now up at the bot lane, once again, the full 5-man power of Team Liquid, grabbing even more, so they are going to get a plant on their own, and they have some to spare.
Yep, quite a few to spare. Fnatic finally going to pick up enough for their own plant terror, so we'll probably see one of the melee assassins going back to pick that up. In the meantime, Rhaegar has been soaking in the mid lane for them, so they are getting a decent amount of XP at this, and are going to try and counter push this push from Liquid.
Team Liquid goes straight for the fort, and Fnatic is saying, well, we do not really want to fight them there. Let's just go up to the top, try to take down those structures on our own, and close that gap in experience. And that's exactly what they're doing here. The bot fort is already gone. The problem is that Team Liquid is already at the wall towards the keep, so Fnatic has to move back. They need to drop the fort and then be back, and that's exactly what we're seeing them do right now.
Yeah, they have to get back to base, not only because of the rest of Liquid pushing the bot lane, but because the plant terror is coming down to join them. But Fnatic are back. They have their own plant terror now, and will be able to hold this off for a while. Now it's a question of what Vortex can do with this tower in the mid lane.
And the mid lane is already active and trying to use the pot to drop more hit points of the keep. At the same time, we're seeing now the Burning Rage taken on 13. Flamethrower is out there. We have the Thunderstrike, Mutalisk, and Shrinkgrave for the control against the melee assassins. There are two of them though, so he will need to use that Storm to make sure that both of them are not just wrecking the back line and taking down Falcon.
Vortex just trying to throw out the Spore Queen's Curse over and over again. If he catches someone, then the rest of his team can move in. Leroy continuing to split push the bottom lane as much as he can. Just get XP is now moving up to join the rest of his team as they may be able to engage once one of these terrors expires.
Yeah, comes to level 13 for Fnatic. One of the things that especially Team Liquid did exceptionally well in the game against Na'Vi was the positioning of Vortex on his Kel'Thas. Can he do that again in this game? We have the Healing Surge. We have that Evasion Talent on 13 for Illidan. Burning Rage on Johanna. Here comes the Spell Shield for Vala as well. The teams are looking for an opportunity. The plant is already down for Fnatic, but Team Liquid has still a couple of seconds on Vortex. But now the duration expires.
Yeah, Wobby actually had a far longer duration than Vortex did there, but his plant was just killed off after taking too much damage. Fnatic going very aggressive here, going to try and steal this easy camp. Black Scorp will spot this, and Vortex seems to know already. Flame Strike does land. Stun also lands onto Illidan, but the follow-up Neverwin does not hit him.
Yeah, right now the teams are still playing very passive here. They want to win the finals, and this is the first map, and especially Team Liquid is known to be exceptionally strong on Garden of Terror. Fnatic with Mena are rotating towards the camps again, but they already see that Team Liquid is thinking about moving in to steal them away. Fnatic, they have to make a move, but the problem is that Johanna is all the way up at the top lane.
If they don't make a move, then Black Scorp may make it for them. He's currently hiding around. There's a retreat ping coming up from Fnatic as they do realize he's there. Wobby managing to dodge the Stormbolt with his sprint.
Oh, Breeze is moving in and they're jumping straight forward. Vortex is in the back line using the Phoenix and the Flame Strike. Illidan is all on Kel'Thas. They're trying to drop him, but here comes the stun and the Divine Storm. So much crowd control on him.
They'll taken down by the siege cap. Their Kessel is ridiculously low. His Raid of Vengeance will not save him. Lucifron charging in, trying to take him down. Nice volt away from Lucifron there. But Kerrigan and Illidan have both been taken down, and Rhaegar will join the Breeze. Now has to back away, and that is a 3-for-1 in favor of Liquid.
Kerrigan and Illidan went deep, but there was Grunt Paquette shielding everybody, trying to use the stuns, use the Divine Storm. Team Liquid in a good position. And of course it was also one of those choke point battles where especially Phoenix and Flame Strike could do so much damage against Fnatic.
Fnatic just waiting for spawn timers at the moment, in some serious trouble. Breeze desperately trying to get any seeds around this area that he can, just to deny them away from Liquid more than help his team get a Terror.
And Team Liquid is already using everything that they have on the map to get more seeds. They want to have another Terror. They go straight to the top. Breeze is the only one there, and he's trying to delay it. The problem really is that we have already at the bot lane another camp that they have to take care about first. Here's the level 16 now, and of course against the double melee assassin, what you're going to get, it's imposing presence.
We're seeing everyone from Fnatic head down to this bot lane because Liquid have been in that top lane. They're trying to kill this Shambler before Liquid comes down to contest it, but Liquid are already on the way.
It's not going to be enough though. They don't have enough seats on the map. They can't get a plan. They will be, the maximum that they can get right now is 96, and they need 100. Here comes Team Liquid. They're already stealing a few more away, so they know that it's going to be a plan for them and none for Fnatic.
Wobby going very deep here, gets the stun onto Uther, but has to pull back as Lucifron is on him. There's the Shrink Ray and the Flame Strike both landing. Ancestral is used, and that means it's not available for Illidan, who's now going very deep onto Black Scorp, gets caught in the Flame Strike and taken down.
Yeah, very well played here by Team Liquid. The problem for Fnatic, they don't have level 16. There's a talent missing. Blessed Shield to stun them out a little bit longer, but at the same time, Team Liquid goes in for main and they want him. The Wolf rushing away, but the Stormbolt hits him and he is taken out. Great play by Team Liquid. 6 kills against 1. They find themselves in a great position. Already moving in against the keep. Falcon on the plan is starting to drop the hit points.
Falcon's taking a lot of damage here. Breeze in the front line just trying to hold back, but he gets caught in the gravity lab. Phoenix and Flame Strike just bursts him completely. And Liquid are going to get the first keep of the game at 13 minutes.
Team Liquid, they lost all their games on the first days, but now they are back and back with a vengeance, taking down Na'Vi, taking down Alternate Fancy, and they are looking strong on the first map here in the grand final against Fnatic.
Fnatic doing their best to defend here, but Falcon, even with no help on this Terror, is just running around, throwing that bulb down, just to get any kind of damage off against Fnatic.
Of course, level 16 now finally on the board, or it will be in a second. Here comes again the attempt to lock down Leori, but Lucifron is just too good to fall into that trap. Uses his Wraith Walk immediately and gets out of there. A triple blood for blood. And we are also seeing now tidal waves plus the imposing presence for Johanna.
The tidal wave so important right now from the Rhaegar, as he needs to get as much healing as he can off onto his team to protect them against that Kael'thas, who's been dropping some killer flame strikes all game. Breeze wading in here. They're trying to steal the camp.
They're trying to move in, but here comes the Phoenix once more. They need to get out of there. This is not a good position for them to fight. They realize to move back, and Breeze on the way out, still taking down another Cream Tumor with his punish, and Johanna needs to get away from that Mutalisk as well. But it's a 2-level lead now for Team Liquid.
And Fnatic just can't seem to find an angle that they can engage at. They keep trying to make aggressive plays, but they haven't been able to just get the right people in the right place yet. And they are looking to see if Liquid are pushing with this Bruiser camp. They are not, though. Liquid are moving down to the bot lane to steal Fnatic's camps.
Yeah, they're trying to move down to get even more. The Siege Giant camp is the first one that they are trying to get. We have in the mid lane still the Siege Giant camp that Fnatic has to take care of. And up at the top, it's the Bruiser camp. This fort is going to fall.
Yeah, it looks like Fnatic are just going to let that one happen and instead move back to base to make sure that they are not in any serious danger and they don't get caught out. Liquid are now moving on to the Fnatic camps after having taken their own siege camp, but they are setting a trap here. They do move into the siege camp eventually. Blackscorp not landing that Stormbolt.
Prediction Stormbolt from Blackscorp, trying to aim for it, trying to hope that he is actually like that somebody is in there that he can take down. That's not the case, but still we have everybody rotating back down again. And of course Fnatic, they have to think about this now. They have one more level until Team Liquid is going to hit level 20, then they will gain an additional talent, and therefore they have to make a play right now or never. Fighting against an opponent that has level 20 is a bit suicidal. They might aim for Blackscorp here, but the melee assassin player for Team Liquid is already moving away. They're not risking anything, they're just playing super safe.
Yeah, they don't need to. They now have mercenaries pushing in the mid and the top lanes as the seeds spawn. So now Fnatic need to make the choice to either chase Liquid around the map, which Liquid will just avoid a fight with them for as long as possible, or to defend their base. And it looks like they're going with the chase option.
They're just chasing. They are desperate. They need to win a fight, and they need to win it now, and they know it. They're trying to move down here. They have finally a target. This is the fight that they need to win, and need to win it now. And Team Liquid is disengaging, of course. They don't want to battle. They want to wait a bit longer, just until level 20, and they are going to get that wish granted. They move back. They play passive. They will hit 20 in a second. There it is. And now the Spaniards are ready to battle.
Yeah, they're rolling forward. The terror for them isn't even here yet. They land a lot of stuns onto Johanna, but she is able to back up. Oh, the Gravity Lapse nearly hitting Lol there.
And Fnatic, they're already losing structures up at the top lane. Once again, the Iron Skin used. Condemn at the same time. Lucifer not able to catch up with Breeze here, but the top lane is getting pushed in. These structures are going to lose hit points, and Falcon is already on the keep in the mid lane. Team Liquid is outplaying Fnatic. Yeah, a great play. This is the Team Liquid that we are used to.
Yeah, Falcon moving up to the top lane. There's still a Siege Giant camp here. Throws down a bulb to kill the minion wave so that those Siege Giants can continue to push. Lol chasing this Terror on his own while the rest of Liquid get even more seeds.
And we have another Garden Terror up at the top. Team Liquid can easily get a second Garden Terror here. They have another minute on Falcon currently. They can get another objective. Easy peasy. Not even a contest. And Fnatic says, boys, we have to do something. We are down a talent, but we have to fight. It's now or never. And they move in. They're trying to take it. Here comes the Maelstrom on Kerrigan. She's jumping onto Kael'thas. Kael'thas is about to die. He goes down. It's a 4 versus 4, but Fnatic gets wrecked completely by the AoE.
They're able to take down Uther, but he has redemption. He'll be right back, and they're trying to get Kessel. The Terror takes down Kessel. Lol is still alive with Breeze. They're trying to do anything they can, but Lol goes down. Breeze can't survive this without his level 20. Is trying to get away, gets stunned up, and looks like they're just going to ignore him and go for core.
There's a reason why you never want to fight versus level 20 talents without having them your own, but the problem is they had no choice. They had to move in. It was a loss-loss situation, and Team Liquid dominant as ever, moving for the core, taking game number 1 in the best of 3 series here at the WCA EU Pro Qualifier. GG!
Team Liquid, this is the Team Liquid we expected to see when they showed up at this tournament. Looking a bit shaky at the start, but are now 1 game away from going to China. Incredible play by them.
Very dominant performance by them. Incredibly played, and they just didn't leave Fnatic a chance. On the other hand, Fnatic also with a few misplays here. It was very uncharacteristic from them at the beginning of the game to just let that Terror go. They apparently didn't realize when Team Liquid was going for the big Garden Terror to get the seeds. And if you end up in a situation where your opponent takes one Garden Terror, claims all the seeds down there, and you didn't even start the other one, then you know that you're in trouble. So that was a big mishap by Fnatic. I'm not quite sure what exactly happened there, but they must have thought that Team Liquid is trying to do some mercenary camps instead. Maybe somebody was scouting, just barely didn't see what was going on down there. Whatever it was, though, it really put them behind, and they were never really able to recover. Like, Team Liquid just didn't allow that.
Yeah, Team Liquid also just completely shut down Fnatic's attempts at some aggressive play by rolling into their camps whenever possible, and every time Fnatic tried to counter-roll into the camps, Liquid, with great rotations, were just able to chase them out.
At this point, of course, we're just waiting for the second map. I'm really curious to see what the second map is going to be. We all knew that map number 1, Garden of Terror, is a map that's really highly in favor of Team Liquid. It is one of their strongest maps. They are very good here, and we all know that. It's basically like what we have in terms of, well, basically Blackheart's Bay and also Haunted Mines for Fnatic. That's what usually are the maps that they are trying to play if they get the chance to do so. And one of those maps might be map number 2. And Fnatic, of course, they need to make some plays here now. We have a lobby, actually, and our map is going to be Dragonshire.
Yep, Dragonshire is indeed the map. And Fnatic have the first ban. The first ban going to be the Zeratul.
Insta ban on Zeratul, not even bothering. And a Kerrigan banned out by Team Liquid. They won the game against Kerrigan, but apparently they say, hey, this is a bit too dangerous. This Kerrigan is really giving us a lot of trouble. And Fnatic is picking their Zagara away. So both teams trying to steal some of the strongest heroes in the opponent's lineups away from them.
Yeah, both these teams think they can play these heroes better, or at least would just not like to play against them. That Kerrigan, like you said, it didn't win the game, but was very effective. It was one of the heroes that actually was able to take down Kael'thas at any point in that last game.
And of course now Team Liquid with the double pick that they can use here. On this map now in particular, they have Zagara, they lost Zagara already. They can still go into a Leoric, for example. They have the opportunity to take a Johanna. Leoric is a very solid pick for them, and they played him several times now, usually using Lucifer to play Leoric, and then they pick a second tank if they play double tanks for Blackscorp. In most of these cases, they themselves have the opportunity to go into an Illidan composition if they want to.
Yeah, that is completely open for them, and that might be something that Blackscorp is advocating for quite a lot. But Liquid, they do put a lot of favor onto the Abathur, onto the Lost Vikings, even on this map.
It's actually a very interesting thing that after they lost the first 2 games, that Team Liquid sat together for a few hours and they were just like playing drafts against each other, and they realized that Falcon was by far the strongest drafter who won basically all the drafts against the other team members. So right now he is one of the leading players during the draft, suggesting the compositions, and they just shifted the entire way that they draft here. And it's very successful for them now. They go into that Leoric that we talked about. Lucifer is going to play him. And for the first time that we do not see a Jaina ban, Team Liquid picks her up right away.
And Jaina, an incredibly strong hero. And this will probably prompt either a pick or a ban onto the Abathur from Fnatic due to, 1, the incredible XP soak, and 2, Ultimate Evolution's Jaina is very terrifying.
Yeah, in this case it depends a bit on what they want to go for. Johanna can work really well with an Abathur, but I also could see a Kael'thas being played here. If you have that Zagara more, then you can really combo that with it as well. Of course, the Johanna, one of Bree's favorite heroes here. We haven't seen a single support being picked yet either, so it might as well be that Uther to at least open up that possibility for you to go into another melee assassin, but then they would have to ban out the Abathur, and there is the pick on Uther.
Yeah, so they do have the option to ban out the Abathur, like you said. The Uther, a lot of variance there. Liquid, it's also sensible to pick their support as quick as possible against them, because if you don't, Liquid will just ban one out and then pick 2 to completely ruin your day.
Exactly, that's one of the things that could definitely happen here now too. For Team Liquid, when it comes to the bans, they have to also think about, of course, the damage. And they know, they played the combo themselves in the last game. They went for Zagara, they went for Kael'thas. So they could also consider just saying like, hey, listen up, boys, we're going to ban out the Kael'thas here because we know definitely how much damage that can do. We play that exact composition ourselves, so let's make sure that they can't use that against us. It's one of the options that they have, but of course they haven't really shown too much yet. Leoric is a solid pick at first. You know that they want to go into a double tank. It's very strong right now. And a Jaina is also a good pick, but they haven't really shown what exactly they want to do here. Do we maybe see a melee assassin attempt on their side with the Uther already picked by Fnatic? It's a bit less likely, but that's a few things that they have to consider.
Yeah, Liquid has such a wide variety of heroes, especially in the damage roles. We saw them even in their earlier games picking up the Sylvanas for that silence, and we see the Anubarak ban here.
So it looks very much like we're going to see a Malfurion played by Team Liquid, or at least they're going to try and do that. And Fnatic now is looking at that draft and is saying like, we know they want Malfurion, we could ban Malfurion out, and they're going to pick Rhaegar, which is still a very solid healer. Instead, we might be better off banning out an Abathar, and that's exactly what they do. They are not falling into that trap. So Team Liquid not picking the Anubarak, therefore they don't have Web Blast against the Divine Shield, the potential Divine Shield, since we of course see a lot more Divine Storm these days. And Team Liquid has now the opportunity to pick that Malfurion, which is the reason why they banned out the Anubarak in the first place.
They are not going to pick him up yet, though, instead picking out their Kael'thas, so double mage composition coming in from Liquid, and the Muradin as their second warrior, so basically baiting Fnatic, saying, go ahead, pick a melee assassin, we're ready for you.
Yeah, but at this point, to be honest with you, I could still see them going into something like an Illidan, since Lowell is very, very confident when it comes to his ability to deal with mage dealers. That thirst, thrill of battle together with a level 13 talent that he has on evasion is something that he frantically believes in. So it is an option that they have. I'm not quite sure if they're really going to take it here on this map, but they're definitely talking about it right now and just weighing their options. They could, of course, simply go into additional damage. In this case, Avala might be one of the picks. We have them also, well, with an opportunity to take a second warrior. And let's not forget that they actually played with an ETC on Haunted Mines, which is a bit of a different map, but they might have a few additional surprises for us.
Very true, and if they were to pick an ETC here, then it would be pretty nice, since there's only 2 current stuns that can interrupt it on the side of Team Liquid. Both of them you will want inside that mosh pit, and if Liquid go with what they're hinting at, which is the Malfurion, then they're going to be short another stun, and even if they went the Rhaegar, they're not going to have another way to stop it.
I mean, you're not necessarily expecting the ETC, but Fnatic has shown strategies like this. They always had some crazy drafts, so they might have a surprise for us here. So it's not only enough to talk about the standard picks here. And Fnatic, as you can see, is really waiting a long, long time for these last 2 picks, because they know that at this point they need to make their choices and that they have to complete the draft. They expect the Malfurion on the opponent's side, but there's so many things that they could do right now. Starting off with an Azebo, Avala is an option that they have. When it comes to the second tank, well, there's the Vala. We already suggested her earlier, but what's going to be the last pick for them?
Last pick, I would agree with what you said earlier and say it is going to be a second warrior. Question is which one it is. They could go with the Tyrael here and go with a hard engage, or they could go for their usual style of just brute force and take the Arthas.
Yeah, and they also still have the option. I mean, the warrior is very likely, but they still have the option to go into Illidan, and they are talking about it. You can really see Lowell just standing there talking to his team, or thinking about what they could do at this point. It would be a very aggressive composition, and it would be also one that is very, very risky. But at this point, they might have to take a risk. We have Dragonshire as the map, and it is, of course, the 1-0 lead for Team Liquid. So Fnatic, they have to win this one if they want to carry it into a third map. And they take their time. They take a long, long time for this decision. It's not an easy one for them.
7 seconds left. They need to make that decision pretty much now, and it's going to be the Tyrande.
Not what I expected, to be absolutely honest. Tyrande, of course, it can really help to burst the target down. They don't have a big initiator. In this case, we might see the conviction taken. Rhaegar, actually, no Malfurion in this case, and the reason is actually quite simple. They definitely wanted to go into a Malfurion. That's why they banned out the Anubarak. But when they then saw the Tyrande, they realized that Fnatic is trying to burst targets down. And against burst damage, one of the things that you want to have is, of course, burst heal. So ancestral healing is what they're aiming for. But the Tyrande is going to be interesting. We might see Priest going into Conviction on level 7 so that he hasn't fast initiate. Usually you want to lead up with a Blessed Shield, but having that extra speed on your Condemn can help. And then Tyrande has to be on point. Not really what I expected here, but it can work out if Fnatic get their early kills in.
They also have a lot of potential with that Starfall coming in from the Tyrande, due to the fact that Liquid will be trying to push through them with that Muradin and that Leoric. But the slow you get from Starfall may make the difference that allows them to just kite away, I guess.
Yeah, and one of the things, of course, that we can't forget here is that in this case, we're having on Dragonshire also a map where you can interrupt the channel on the Dragonite. Tyrande helps you with that. We could see Tyrande also go into more of a damage build, especially when we're talking about the Owl build. It gets really popular these days again. If you go so far as to talk about Virtus Pro, for example, they really like to go with Unstable into a build where they just say, hey, we are going for the searing arrows, we're going for level 1 season marksman and trying to put right-click damage out with the Nexus Frenzy at level 20 that can really hurt.
Yeah, this is our ranged assassin Tyrande. We hope you like it. It's been pretty interesting to see the surprising amount of success they've had with it.
Yeah, it's very strong, and you go for Hunter's Fury on level 13, so you are a monster when it comes down to the single target damage. They're doing really well with this, and it's something that other teams have not copied yet, but we might see that occasionally. Dragonshire is map number 2. The teams are getting ready. That's not the confident team that we're looking for here, but Fnatic, they have to make a move now. And well, we are starting game number 2 of your Dragonshire with our team to the left side. They are down 1 map in the best of 3 series here, of course, in the final of the WCA EU Pro Qualifier. It is Team Fnatic. Lowell this time on Zagara. No melee assassin in this game. Mane on Uther. Breeze on Johanna. We have Kiesel with the Tyrande play. And Bobby on the Vala. To the right side of the map. The one only. They came from the losers bracket. And they came back with a vengeance. It is Team Liquid. The Spaniards with Black Scorp on Meridian. Grand Paquet on Rhaegar. Vortex on Kel'Thas. We have Lucifer on Leoric and Falcon on Jaina, and all of them are waiting in the mid lane.
Yeah, they're looking to try and catch someone out maybe if Fnatic were playing a bit too far forward. Breeze sees Black Scorp in this bush and is just going to back up to the top one to make sure he doesn't get caught out.
Well, so far we do not see an Owl build. It is actually on level 1, the Rangers mark. That has been taken by Tyrande here, so they really want to go for as many snipes as they possibly can, prioritizing that trade of Tyrande with the extra damage. Corpse Feeder for Zagara, another talent that we're currently seeing here. Great if you want to push in these lanes. And of course, on the other hand, we are seeing at this point the Reverberation build on the side of Meridian, since he's up against Tyrande and also, of course, more importantly, Vala and Zagara.
Yeah, so that's going to be very, very useful for him. Team Liquid going with the 4-man roam from mid lane to bot lane, just killing off the minions and then running back up. They will eventually stop this as the minions are going to get a bit too hard to take down very quickly, and the objective will be spawning.
One of the cool things though is that they shut down the roaming of Fnatic. So Fnatic would really like to just put that Tyrande in play. Move around with the Tyrande, try to get a lockdown here, make something happen. And if they could do that, then they will get the early lead in the match. But the problem for them really is that we have with the mid into bot rotation on the side of Team Liquid a very strong squad. But here comes now exactly what we've been talking about. Here are missing the stun, but the condemn is good. And from the top, Lowell moves in there, trying to go for Falcon. Falcon is solo, but he gets away. Min, on the other hand, he does not. And Uther is down the first blood in the game again for Team Liquid.
Lucifer with an incredibly deep dive there, using the Wraith Walk from Leoric, able to pick up that kill. Very nice play by him.
And we're seeing the bot lane rotation again. A bit of an experience lead now for Fnatic after that first kill. Sorry, for Team Liquid. Fnatic here with a pretty good idea. The problem was really that that initial stun of Tyrande didn't hit. He could have waited a bit longer and allowed Breeze to move in with the condemn first. So maybe a bit of miscommunication or just not a good enough stun attempt by Tyrande. But it didn't really work out. And they're always trying to go for Jaina here, of course. They really want to go for Jaina or Kel'Thas and make sure that they get one of the mages.
Oh, Zagara getting locked down, taken out by the Flame Strike, and Liquid already 2-0 in terms of kills, have control of this top shrine, and we're going to see a couple heroes now move down to bot to see if they can get that Dragon Knight.
Yeah, we have been given a bit more auto attack damage. Now Vala taken out. Oh my god, like that's the roaming squad that apparently Fnatic was not prepared for. Meridian and Jaina, of course, strong. Oftentimes they are played together with Tyrande. They are moving in, and Team Liquid, they get the Dragon Knight 3 minutes into the game. This is a great start for the Spanish team. They are looking so strong once again. It looked hopeless for them on the first day. They lost everything. They didn't win a single map. And now, all of a sudden, they are back to business. This is the Team Liquid that we've been missing in the last few days.
Yeah, back on form. And if they win this, they will remain undefeated at an offline event. They've lost series here and there, but so far they will have won every single event they've been to.
And down in the bot lane, stun hitting a bit too late. Lucifer gets away with the Wraith Walk. They're having also, of course, the fealty on death for him once more so that he has more lane presence against the opponent. The Boundless Conviction for Uther is going to help him later on to really heal out the damage, but the problem still is that that Dragon Knight is just wreaking havoc in the mid lane. Going through the wall, trying to go for well, and that's of course putting additional pressure onto the lane now.
Blackscore popping out of that Dragon Knight is going to be backing up towards his friends, thinking about helping them with the camp, but Rhaegar and Jaina completely have this. Lucifer says hi at the siege camper of Fnatic, thinking about going in there, but instead is going to soak the bot lane.
Yeah, and of course, if you're wondering about the Manticore level 4 that we're seeing on the side of Vala, she is most likely going to go into a level 13. Oh, well, she has options now. She doesn't have to go into the level 13 Frost Shot, but she could also go into the level 13 Giant Killer, depending on what exactly they're struggling with the most. That, of course, would possibly trigger a double imposing presence from the two tanks on the side of Team Liquid, but it would also then force Muradin out of the Stormfawn talent, which is extremely strong.
Yeah, but Muradin does have the reverberation in replacement of that imposing presence if that is what he chooses to go. But it will mean he'd have to go within the melee range of Valor, and that could be, for all he knows, within the back line of Fnatic. LoL putting on a little bit of pressure, and now they're going on to Kael'thas. No follow-up stuns though.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit too late for that follow-up stun, so that was unfortunate. Kaesel with the original Lunar Flare doing everything right here. Just apparently a communication problem, or for some reason they didn't get in range. Kael'thas was already on the way back. And I have to give some credit here to Vortex. He's been playing Kael'thas 3 games in a row now, and this guy is absolutely amazing. His positioning is absolutely out of this world. We've seen a game between them and Fnatic and Navi earlier on Tomb of the Spider Queen, and it was just incredible the way that he moved the hero on the map. So very good positioning. Something that isn't really flashy, but he is one of the best at it.
This could not be more true. We're seeing a bit of a push from Team Liquid in the bot lane. Fnatic right now just pretty much defending all lanes. They are going to take control of this top shrine though. Kael'thas needs to be very careful about where he positions to try and move into this. And they're coming around from behind. The Lunar Flare does not land. Uther gets knocked up by the Gravity Lapse and is slowed by Jada. Here comes the Water Damage, so they immediately turn onto Vortex, but Grandpagetta arriving just in time with the Ancestral. They turn onto Maida and Liquid get the kill. Could LoL be next? Is there a stun to lock him down? No, there is not.
Fnatic's timing here could not have been worse. The level 10 just hit, and now they are suddenly in a position where they take that level 10 talents, lock them down. They have the Water Elemental, slow him, and Uther is eliminated. Great play here by Team Liquid. This team is just absolutely incredible. When they lost 2 games in a row, they were upset, they were angry, and everybody was saying, is this really where Team Liquid, where they break, where they start to struggle? They were a little bit salty, and then they talked about it. They found out that their drafts were one of their main problems in the last few days. That simple move of using more of Falcon's advice already helping them so much, and now they are way, way ahead of Fnatic, taking Dragon Knight number 2 in the game.
They're going to be pushing in this mid lane with 3 to 4 members. Grandpagetta thinking about moving to bot lane to help out with Leoric, but is instead going to stay mid with his team. Leoric instead coming up from the bot lane to assist with the push. The level 10s for Fnatic could help them defend here, but they need to follow this Dragon Knight around so much.
But this is now the moment where they can finally fight. Finally they have an opportunity, and they're trying to use it. They're going for the flank. They're moving in. Blackscorp with the punt. Goodbye. Oh, actually it is Tyrande that they kick away. Tyrande is very much alone, isolated from the rest of the team. Gets the shield though, gets the healing, and from the backline, Whoopi with the Rain of Vengeance, but he doesn't hit it. Uther already down. Tyrande is dead as well. They're moving in again, and Team Liquid hasn't lost a single man of the team except for Jaina.
Whoopi with huge damage onto Jaina, trying to take him down. He's now turning his attention to Vortex, but with very little support. Johanna will be going down soon, so Whoopi having to vault away. LoL is still there. Down goes Johanna, and that is a 3-for-1 in favor of Liquid. Whoopi escapes. LoL mounting up to get away as well.
I'm not 100% certain if that punt was intended by Blackscorp, kicking Tyrande right into harm's way, but if it was, then it was ingenious. Isolating her from the rest of the team. Whoopi was trying to move in from the back with the Rain of Vengeance, but that didn't hit anything. He used it a bit too early, and with Tyrande already down, a lot of that potential of a successful flank just evaporated. Extremely well coordinated team fight on the side of Team Liquid. They lost Jaina, but after that they did everything right.
And Liquid already have a Siege Giant camp pushing in the bot lane. Fnatic responding by taking as many of their mercenaries as they can, but Liquid just rolling into this bottom Siege camp will take that too. So now they have 2 sets of camps in this bottom lane, but Fnatic are well positioned to take down at least the first set.
Fnatic has to accept that they're in a bad spot. They have to sacrifice a few structures, they have to sacrifice a few objectives, or at least the mercenary camps, and just say, alright, we need to soak experience, let's try to keep them at arm's length for as long as we can, but we need to get experience before we can do anything here. We need our 13. Without it, we just cannot fight this.
So they're just going to attempt to soak that. There's still an entire level away though, and there's still a Siege Giant camp in the bottom lane. Blackscorp takes a couple hits, but he's just like, no, turns around and throws the Stormbolt at Wubby, just to show dominance, I guess. Lucifron chilling up in the top lane right now, pushing the Bruiser camp, but now needs to go down and help his team, as there is a bit of a scuffle here. The Maw landed on quite a few members of Liquid, but they're all still fine inside it. Wubby being chased down, he is the target. Nice Divine Shield from Maina.
Good Divine Shield, but they need more than that. It's 12 versus 14 fight, no level 13 talent for them. They're getting a good start up against Jaina, but Johanna is down, and now Zagara is in trouble. They jump in and take her down. 9 kills against 1. Team Liquid unstoppable right now. They take the fort in the mid lane, and the shrines are going to activate in another 3 seconds, and it looks like Dragonite number 3 for the Spanish team.
Fnatic in serious trouble. They're trying everything they can and getting some pretty good engagements. That was a very nice Maw, for example, but they're just losing too much health while doing it. Another Dragonite will move to the top lane, as that is the only one before left except for mid, which is already damaged, so they can come down and do that later.
The Dragonite is moving in again. It's a 3-level lead that Team Liquid has right now. Unbelievable, the performance of them here at the tournament. Fnatic, they reached the winner bracket final, but keep in mind that only the winner of this tournament will go to China.
Kessel manages to dodge the Flame Strike, but it's taking a lot of damage here. Will the Living Bomb kill him? No, he won't, because Maina has just arrived to heal him up.
Maina's got his back here, but still, here comes the fort. It's down at the bot lane. Vala is soaking experience. Level 13, they have the level 13 talents, but there is level 16 ready for Team Liquid, and that means even more damage. Kelthas now with Ignite, and they have the Numbing Blast on the side of Jaina. A double spell shield is at least going to help with that, in the sense of Uta and Johanna. They're going to be a bit safer. But still, this is a disaster for Fnatic right now. Team Liquid is playing this so well.
We're going to see Lucifron just get out of there completely scot-free thanks to that Wraith Walk. And Rain of Vengeance dropped onto the Muradin, but he just jumps out of there. Wubby having to fountain up, as he did take a Ignited Flame Strike.
Yeah, Wubby was basically already riding his will, but Maina, he came in with a quick heal in the last second and saved him. He would have died for sure there, thanks to the Ignite. But now Lucifron is at the bot lane again, and they are about to hit level 17. Oh my god, like Fnatic, they're trying to do what they can, soaking experience, moving in to attempt and take a camp, but there's Lucifron. He says like, are you kidding me? You're not going to move out on the map. This is our map. Go back home and stay in your base, get some experience, and we can talk about it once that you have level 16.
And Lucifron doesn't even want to take the camp himself. He just wants to stop Fnatic from doing it until his team arrives so they can steal it for themselves.
Down here to the bot lane once again. Siege Giant camp is being attacked. A 3-level lead and a solid one at that for Team Liquid. Here comes again the push at the bot lane. A double Siege Giant camp moving in. 4 of those bad boys, they want to go for keep, and there is nothing that can really stop them. Fnatic is trying. They are in position, using whatever they have. Kesa with the stuns, the owls, Wubby with the multi-shots. They are really trying to zone them out, but it's going to be so difficult.
Flame Strike landing onto Lol there, doing a bit of damage. Johanna being dropped super low so quickly. The Flame Strike lands. She needs a heal. Divine Shield used at this point to keep him alive, but Kessel did heal up anyway, so the Divine Shield wasted here.
Yeah, Maina needs a raise for sure. He's been just doing overtime the entire game, healing, shielding whoever he could, but it is, of course, like, this is just, it's not going to be enough. He's one man against a storm of damage, and Blackscorp and Lucifron at the front line are shielding everyone that they can. The Song of Ice and Fire, sung by Kelthas and Jaina, is too strong here. Too much damage from the 2 mage heroes. Lucifron going super aggressive now. Wraith walks in, Skeleton Swing against Lol. They try to go for Zagara. There's the damage once again, but no stun from Blackscorp. They have to move back since Zagara used them all for the disengage.
Yeah, and it was a very good morph from Zagara. Otherwise, Falcon would have easily got that numbing blast off and allowed them to pick her off. So we're going to see Fnatic moving up to the top lane, just clearing it. But they're probably going to lose another Dragon Knight here, as there's no way they can make it up to this top shrine.
Well, they can contest the mid, I guess. They have level 16, or they will have it in a second, but there's already Black Scorp zoning them, and nobody's moving into the mid lane. So yes, it is oh, wow, the owl barely. Black Scorp eating the owl, making sure that it's blocked, and Lucifer, he is on the Dragon Knight again. Fnatic is on 16 though. They can finally fight again. It's another opportunity for them. Another chance. Mena and Breeze. Uh-oh, they're moving in from the side. There's the shield. Where's the follow-up damage? Kaysel comes in from behind. They go for Falcon, but the Icebox is there, and Vala is already dead.
Tyrande punted away here. We're seeing Johanna in full retreat. Uther being body blocked by Black Scorp here. They're trying to take it down. There's the root from Jada. Divine Shield used by Uther, and he will back away from this. But the Flame Strike lands on Lowell and Breeze here, and Lowell is having to back away. He's having to play so cautiously.
It is so much damage. Fnatic was trying to move in from all sides to lock them down. They are desperate now. They need a kill, and they need it soon. That Tyrande pick did not work out them at all. They just do not have the composition for it. They were trying and hoping that they could eliminate target early on, but they are the ones that lost too many heroes. Thanks to Gravity Labs and the stun on Muradin, those two heroes together with the Jaina damage were too strong. Drop target after target, and now Team Liquid, they have to keep at the bot lane, they have to keep in the mid lane, and they are taking the one at the top lane too.
Fnatic are using this opportunity though. They're trying to get something. They have Black Scorp and Lucifer still in their base. Lol taking so much damage though, and Valor wiped out by the Flame Strike Blizzard combo. Lucifer able to Wraith walk out, and now we're probably going to see Johanna go down as well. No, it's going to be Zagara taken out by a Flame Strike in the backline first.
But they're not done yet. Breeze is moving in again. He has his Iron Skin, but not for long. Goodbye, Johanna and Team Liquid. They just move for a core. This team is crazy. They take it. They come from the loser's bracket. They lost all of the games in the first few days. And once again, the Spanish Armada makes it happen. They win the game with a 2-0. They win the WCA Pro Qualifier and go to China.
GG Team Liquid. Incredible play from them. Still undefeated at an offline event. Is there anyone who can stop this team just winning everything out there?
It looked like we had a few teams that could, especially the first few days when they lost to Na'Vi, they lost to Fnatic, but now they changed their setup, they changed how they are drafting, and they are starting to win everything again. They took the 2-0 against Na'Vi, and now they won the final without dropping a single map. This team is just unbelievable.
Yeah, I am stunned in those last games. The Fnatic we've seen all week, it is the same one they brought to these games, but Liquid were just playing on another level. Every time Fnatic tried to move in and get something, Liquid reacted perfectly and were able to survive.
One of the big problems that we had for them was that the Tyrande was just not strong enough. Tyrande didn't work out for them as a pick. They were trying to snipe heroes at the beginning. That was one of the main things that she was supposed to do. You could already tell from the level 1 talent. We oftentimes see Tyrande now with more damage, but they said it is going to be the Rangers Mark trade. We want to have that reduced cooldown, and then we roam the map, we snipe, we get an early game advantage, and we take it from there. We dominate the objectives, and it backfired so hard.
Yeah, and we have to talk about Vortex on the Kael'thas there. He positioned and played perfectly, landing pretty much every Flame Strike he could. And we can see the final results there. Team Liquid winning over Fnatic. They will be going to China.
Vortex is just playing an incredible tournament once again, especially after those first few days. Every single time we've seen him on Kael'thas, he played an incredible match. His positioning is just impeccable, and the way that he dishes out the damage is just crazy. He waits until he has an opportunity to drop somebody, and every single time he gets engaged upon, there is that gravity lapse, especially when they're in the early game trying to get those combos down. In this game, it was the Muradin that he comboed off. The Stormbolt into a gravity lapse. Jaina was there too for additional damage, and they just, from start to finish, dominated these two maps.
Commiserations to Fnatic though, just playing superb this entire tournament. just not able to stand up to Team Liquid when it came down to it in the finals.
One of the things that is going to be really incredible here, of course, is going to see Team Liquid in China. I mean, both of these teams, they win a lot of money, 10,000 on the side of Team Liquid, another 6,000 on the side of Fnatic, but that ticket to China, that goes to Team Liquid. And they have an opportunity to represent Europe now at the WCA main event.
Yes, so now it is time to head over for the winners presentation and an interview with our winning team.
Thank you, gentlemen. It's time to award our top 3 teams of Heroes of the Storm here at the WCA 2015 European Pro Qualifier. In 3rd place, taking home €3,000. Give it up for Na'Vi. All right, thank you, gentlemen. Let's bring out the 2nd place team. In 2nd place, they fought hard from the winner's bracket, and they're going to take home €6,000. Give it up for Fnatic. All right, thank you, gentlemen. Best of luck in future tournaments. And finally, in quite the Cinderella story, the 1st place team taking home $10,000 and representing Europe in China at the Grand Finals. Give it up for Team Liquid. Everyone that supported the WCA event here at Gamescom 2015. A huge thank you to the players for putting on some fantastic WarCraft III, Heroes of the Storm, and Hearthstone matches. For more information, make sure to check out the Twitter account at WCA Europe, and we'll see you in China for the Grand Finals. On behalf of everybody here at WCA, thanks for watching. Good night and good game.